Hello, my name is Victor Frost, and this is my project. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to name it yet. Maybe the Ingest-a-Tron 9000 or the Camera Dumpinator 8700, something like that. Anyways, here's my predicament. I have a camera. I make videos, a lot of videos, and the camera I have is a Samsung NX500, which is a phenomenal camera. Love it to death. But it records its video in H.265, which, if you are unfamiliar with video codecs, is not a very common codec, at least not yet. The most common codec on the interwebs is H.264, and that is basically the universal intermediary format that literally any program that has to work with video can process. The programs that I'm most concerned on is Sony Vegas, which cannot handle H.265. So I need to convert the H.264 to, the H.265 to H.264. In order to be able to use it for making videos. And there is the standard Samsung movie converter program in here, but that is so tedious to have to do every single time. There must be a better way. And so I did a little digging, and if I go in here, let's see here. Let's find out where this goes. And hey, look at that. If we follow the bouncing ball, we can open the file location, and what do we have here? FFmpeg binaries? What? How could this be? So the program that Samsung provides basically is a front-end GUI for FFmpeg. And if we go ahead and we open up Notepad, I'm going to open up Notepad because I have sensitive things in Notepad++ right now. We can drag and drop files in here, and it'll start giving us, things that, funguli. We can go ahead and start. Oh, wait a minute. Was that in here somewhere? Oh, hey, passwords. Don't want to open that. We can copy this stuff in here. Oh, that's garbage. Oh, here we go. Here is some stuff. Some parameters. We can see that it's calling on, we're calling on the FFmpeg. But where is the settings? They're in here somewhere. Well, whatever. Anyways, they're in there somewhere. It uses FFmpeg to convert the H.265 to H.264. And that is important because FFmpeg is open source, which means I can get it anywhere. Which means if this is passing along commands to FFmpeg, I should be able to do that too. And geez, back in my Windows 98 days, I used to have a lot of fun writing batch files. Maybe I can write a batch file to do that too. Well, if you've already guessed where this is going, yeah, I already did. Well, this isn't it. This is it. Here we go. So what we have here is the batch file in question. Here is the FFmpeg command that the Samsung thing sends to FFmpeg to transcode something from H.265 to H.264. And what I've done in here is I've automated an entire workflow. So here is what this does. And this has satisfied my incredible laziness. Because another thing about this camera is that when it saves raw images, because it can, it doesn't save them as DNGs. It saves them as SRW files, which if I said I knew what they meant, what that stood for, I would be a liar. But it does do that, and which means they need to be converted too. Unfortunately, there was no automatable way to convert it. So what I did was I decided, okay, well, if I'm going to be transcoding the files, I might as well make it so that I can just hook up my camera to another computer, which I have a workstation, workbench computer up there on the wall. That's it's in front of my workbench where I do electronics and stuff. basically so I can have a computer there at all times and be able to look up pinouts and things like that. Anyways, it's sufficiently powerful enough to be able to effectively transcode these videos and stuff like that. So I figured, well, why not have that computer do the work for me? So what I've got it here is this batch file, and let's walk through this batch file step by step. So first things first is going to use the Windows message protocol, system to send a message to my computer. Okay, here's an important thing to note. This IP address, this is a static IP address, because while both of these computers are on Wi-Fi, as you can imagine, transferring gigabytes of video over shitty Wi-Fi is a bad idea. So they also have a single Cat5e cable moving between the two of them, which establishes effectively a point-to-point gigabit connection. So what I've done is I've set up that these computers each have a static IP. My computer, my main editing rig, the one that you're looking at right now, is 192.168.2.1. The other one, the workbench, is 192.168.2.2, and they are the only computers on that little network. So what I'm doing is here I'm going to send through the Windows message protocol, through the Windows message system, to my user Sonic, at my computer, a message copying videos to ingest source folder. And let's take a look at that ingest source folder. Oop, not the button I'm looking for. Nope, still not the button I'm looking for. Here we go. So here's the ingest source folder. This is an old version. You should always keep your old versions just in case. And what I'll do is I'll start copying. If we look here at this, which is this notepad, this thing here is just this file over here. I've just opened it on my computer to make it easier to see. It will use FastCopy, which I had to learn A, that existed, B, how to use it, because the command line copy feature is pretty slow. So I'll use the FastCopy with no UI, full speed, and verified once it's done, using MD5 or whatever it wants to use, from the USB, from the camera, which is connected via USB, in its DCIM folder, in a 228 photo folder, which never changes. This is very important. If that folder changes, this whole thing goes to pot, and I'm a very unhappy victor. Copies it from that folder, any file labeled MP4. MP4, that's important because those are videos. Videos and images are stored in the same folder. So we got to differentiate to the D drive transcode folder right over here in the source folder. This is important. Why does it need to be in that folder? Because it's going to be coming up in step 3. Step 2, we're going to send another message saying, okay, now we're copying the RAW and JPEG files to Discord. Discord is the name of my computer. It's going to copy it from the same folder, SRW files and JPEG files. So that's all we really care about, just images. I am perfectly okay letting my computer handle, doing the conversion from SRW to whatever using Samsung's proprietary tool. Fine. We're going to copy it over the network to my storage/images folder. And if I can just open that up, there's my storage drive. And there's my images folder. And those are just some folders that were already there. So we've got this, that, and it's all set up all nicey-nicey. Next, once that is done, we are going to send another message saying, okay, transcoding is started. And that's where we have some fun. So I had to relearn a little bit of Batch, and what this bit of script here does, it says, okay, it's a for loop. 4 files in the folder that this is running with the name anything.mp4 do start FFmpeg with all these commands, and in the place where it wants a file name, we're going to put the name of the file, which is why it's important to have FFmpeg in the folder where the MP4s are being copied to. All these different parameters, which is, you only really need to know about if you're encoding video, and go look it up online. And then when we're going to save each and every one of these files to transcode/output/transcoded over here,
We're going to name it in here. We're going to call it, there's a test one I did, transcoded, and then the name of the original file. So we know that it has been done. So once it's done doing all of the files, and I mean all of files, when there's no more files to be done, it will then message my computer one more time and say, okay, transcoding is finished. We are now beginning to copy and verify. So it's going to copy. What did I do? It's going to begin copying the videos to my computer, and then it's going to verify them using MD5. And that is very important. It's going to copy because I need to make sure my videos are the way are functioning properly. So it's going to start FastCopy. It's going to say, okay, FastCopy. We are going to copy every MP4 out of transcode output to the computer Discord, my computer, the storage share in the folder transcode. And then once everything is done, send Victor's computer one more message. Copy and compare finished, terminating. Now, automating that process is all good and well. But while in my initial versions that those messages being sent to my computer was a great way to notify me where in the process everything is, it's just as the problem is that I would have to open a remote desktop connection and start the transcode batch file manually. And I really didn't want to have to go through that step. Oh my god, I'm so lazy. So what do? It's time for another bodge. And then we get back to this file. This is not the actual batch file that I use. This one has been sanitized. Because what we're going to be using is PsExec, which, again, another thing I learned about in my quest to be lazy. Basically, it lets you run commands on remote Windows computers. So, here is the command in its entirety. First, we're going to set echo off because when I actually do run the batch file for you as a demonstration, I don't want it showing my real account name and my real password. Because I have a Microsoft account, which means if you had the real username and password, you'd be able to log into my Microsoft account. Well, you wouldn't really because it would still need to use the two-factor authentication, but I know you people. Tricksy hobbitses. Anyways, it's going to run. First thing it's going to do is going to run and say, okay, we're going to do something. We're going to execute something, but first you need to know this. If you get asked for a username, just give it this. Just give it this string. This is what the other computer needs to know. If you get asked for a password, give it this. Now, about that computer, you want to connect to this guy. And we're going to run something, but make it so that it appears as interactive in session 1. And session 1 is the desktop session. It's the one the user sees. Otherwise, it'll default to some... if you don't specify the session, it'll default to, like, session 3 or something. Which means it'll show up in Task Manager, but the user won't see it. And the reason I care that it pops up in here is that if something goes wrong, I want to be able to check in on it. If it feels like it's been too long of a time, I want to be able to look in and see how things are going. What are we going to run? We're going to run d/transcode/source/transcode.bat. And then what I did was I made a, we can just get rid of that now. And then what I made was, I made a little shortcut, a wonderful little shortcut, camera dump. That's what I called, and I made a shortcut to that file, gave it a wonderful little camera shortcut icon, and I put it in my start menu folder, which you can look up how to do. And now we're going to run it. This is going to be great. Okay, first thing we want to do, though, is we want to make sure that the last time I copied something, nothing was here, so that FastCopy doesn't throw a shit. It will handle it gracefully. It just will not copy over it. But I like tech demonstrations are a well, they're finicky. And I want to make sure that everything's okay. So here we go. There's the source. We got this in here. What we're going to do is we're just going to go over to the output. We're going to delete that there. It'll ignore it, even if I don't. It'll ignore it even if it is there, but, you know, why tempt fate? Okay, so we're going to put this in a folder that can be monitored. There we go. That'll be great. While we're doing that, we're going to bring this task manager over here so we can watch disk activity, because that's very important. And we have our task manager over here so we can watch network activity. This is the Ethernet. It's doing a remote desktop over the Ethernet. We're getting a little bit of received traffic. And so let's run this. Cross your fingers. Boop. So it takes a little bit to connect due to Windows firewall garbage. So it's like going ping, 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 ping. What's it gonna do? What's it gonna do? Takes about 10 seconds to do. It should start doing stuff. This should start lighting up like a goddamn Christmas tree. Is Windows going to fail me in a tech demonstration? I wonder if this must be what Stephen Ballmer felt like. Oh please work. Oh please. Oh, for the love of God. Is it because I clicked in here? Are you upset at me because I clicked in here? God fucking damn it. All right, one more time. Boop, and I'm not gonna... Oh, here we go. Copying videos to ingest source folder. Wow, that was really quick. Maybe I should add something to just loop that in. So I can close this now. I don't need this open. And hey, look, this is open now. And the D drive is being very active. I wonder what's going on. Oh, look, and a wild MP4 has appeared. And oh, look, another one or two. Ah, the smell of sweet success. Let's check back in a little bit. Okay, so we have a new pop-up, and guess what that pop-up says? It says copying RAW and JPEG to Discord, meaning that all of the video files are done copying, and now we should have some RAW and JPEGs in our midst. Here should be copying and stuff. Let's take a look. Images. Well, hey, look at that. Files are appearing. It's like magic. It's amazing. Files are appearing all over the place. All right. Let's go back to that wonderful hold music. This could take a bit. So as you can see on the screen, I am sending almost a full gigabit of data per I'm pretty much saturating the gigabit data connection back to my workbench, and it's doing that because it's verifying all the files it just copied, which means that we should be getting a wonderful little pop-up soon. Ooh, cross your fingers, folks. Oh boy. How many megabytes of images was this even? These are all raw. So here we go. Let me just like that. So I went to there we go. Transcoding started, and what happened? What happened here? What's going on? What happened? Oh no! transcoding finished, beginning to copy and verify, copy and compare, finish, terminating. What? Okay, so I figured out what was wrong, and I realized that I never, I never set up the, I never configured the working directory of the process in my whatchamacallit, good God, the PS thing, crap. The PsExec. I never set up the working directory, and so while every other thing didn't need that because it was specified, it was just copying, it was setting up the to and from with FastCopy. The transcode bat wasn't operating in its native directory, and so it didn't find any MP4s to transcode. So I fixed that, and now as you can see, it is working. It is doing a very good job. It's hitting the CPU pretty well, and which is plugging along, you know, at its own pace. And well, I've got a lot of MP4s to convert here, so I'm gonna leave it off at this. And yeah, so if you want to, if you have something similar, you want to do something similar to this, I'm gonna put up both of the batch scripts up on the hackaday.io, and hopefully you guys get some use out of this. In the meantime, my name is Victor Frost, and click the link, click my face to check out my usual YouTube channel, which is filled with good videos of analyses, media analysis, and stuff. I hope you enjoyed this project. I hope you enjoyed this video, and click my face.